It is Sunday, April 20th, 2025, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofa Time, we're talking about solo cruisers paying more for food and a whole lot more.
Just like the wind, just let it pass through, just let it pass you, you do what you do.
Welcome to yet another hotel room here in Berlin, Germany. I don't know, what do you think? Just pan around here a little bit for you. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I've been making travel videos now for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. And I've written 2 books full of stories about things that have happened to me around the world, like talking my way out of a contract on Broadway because I insulted the director's bowel movements. If you like to read and want to give me a little extra support, check them out on Amazon now. I have been making Sunday Sofa Time now for quite a few years. I think there's over 200 episodes now. This is something that I do in addition to the travel vlogs that I post during the week. And I used to have a regular segment at the end of these videos where I would pick out just random comments from my YouTube channel and sometimes from the Facebook page for the very unofficial travel guides and then talk about the comments. I don't do that so regularly anymore, and I know some of you have been writing to me to say that you miss it, and that's why today is going to be a video of just commenting on your comments, and we're going to start with this one here. This is on my video, When is Premium Better Than Business Class? Airline Review on Delta KLM. Billy wants to know, and I think I'm translating this correctly, is a bulkhead in premium economy better or worse? So premium economy is like a step, quite a step up from normal economy seating on these long haul flights, and it's just a little step down from business class. I talk about it way more in that video, and I also show you the differences like firsthand. And I'm sorry about this construction noise. I don't know if you can hear this in the background, but they're building a building right across the street here, and it's loud. So bulkhead means that you are in the seat, like at the front of the section, and in front of you is not a seat, just the wall. I know that many people appreciate having a bulkhead seat because then you do have more leg room and you don't have somebody else's seat reclining into your face. But I'm not a fan of bulkhead seats because I don't like to have the video screen in the arm of my seat. I don't talk about it very often, but I have a problem with my eye. I was born with a 17% deficiency in the movement of my left eye. And I know you can kind of see it. My eyes look a little bit different, and I have a problem looking down. So when the screen comes out of the armrest, then it's always like down here, and I have to put myself in sort of a weird position to be able to look at it comfortably. And that's why I personally don't prefer a bulkhead seat. I would rather have the seat in front of me because then the screen is right there in the place where my eyes can focus the most easily. Here's another thing you should know about bulkhead seats, and this is something I learned the hard way. If you are in the bulkhead where there is a door, those seats get really cold. Somehow there's less isolation there. But one time I sat in the bulkhead in the front of economy right next to the door, and before we took off, the flight attendant came by and gave me a few extra blankets and said,
"I'm just going to give you these right now because this seat is cold."
So those are my thoughts about bulkhead. Next question is from Cynthia Aerosmith on my video, Club Balcony Suite on NCL, not worth it. And Cynthia's comment basically sums it up. She asks, why do they call it a suite if it's no suite? Exactly. A club balcony suite is basically a standard balcony cabin with a little bit bigger bathroom. That is not a suite. I'm not saying I don't like these rooms. I just feel like they should call it something else. What would be a good name that does describe what it is? It's like balcony with bathroom XL or something like that. It doesn't even come with a bunch of extra perks that you would usually get when you book a suite. So I just feel like it's misleading and they shouldn't call it that. Next question is from John C. Warner on my video, begging a Spanish police officer, ... story time on Gran Canaria. Yeah, I had a little encounter with the police, had a little bit of stress, but just go watch the video. It wasn't maybe that big of a deal, but in the moment, I was very stressed. John asks, does your state in the USA have reciprocal relationship with Spain over driving licenses? It just took me like 3 times to say that. Over driving licenses. So in the video, I explain that because of certain loopholes in restrictions and regulations in the country where I live, Germany, that technically I still have my American driver's license from where I grew up, which was Minnesota. And Minnesota does have this reciprocal agreement with Germany, as John is asking about Spain, that people who live in Minnesota, who move to Germany, can transfer their Minnesota driver's license into an international driving license, and then they're good. However, that has to be done within the first 6 months of you moving to Germany. And since I've lived here now, I think 27 years, I kind of missed the deadline. And I've been trying to find ways to get through this without having to do what I think I have to do, and that is take frickin' driver's ed and do a driver's test all over again here in Germany. And that doesn't, I don't have a problem with learning the test questions and taking a driving test again. I have a problem with the fact that it costs like 3,000 euros. So anyway, in sort of an emergency situation in Spain, I had to drive a car that not only I didn't have a valid license for, but it was a rental car and my name was not on the rental. So it was like double whammy of things I probably shouldn't have been doing. And then it happened to be surrounded by police officers. Go watch the video. It's not as dramatic as I'm making it sound now, but like I said, it was a thing. Next question is from CJ Odell on my video about cruise lines discriminating against solo travelers. This is something I really agree with as well. CJ asks, so do solo cruisers have to pay double for food and other services too? In this video, I talk about, I feel like solo cruisers are discriminated against because they always end up paying more than they would if they were cruising with another person in the same cabin. And for people who, maybe want to cruise alone or don't have a significant other or any friends who have time for a cruise or can afford a cruise or want to go on a cruise. But honestly, if you don't have friends who want to go on a cruise, it's time to get some new friends. And CJ's asking, okay, so do they also pay more for the food and services on board? And the answer to that question is kind of yes and no. As you know, with cruises, a lot of the food and fun things on board are included in the price of the cruise. So technically, when a solo cruiser goes to one of the included restaurants like the main dining room or the buffet, or does the water slides or mini golf or those things that are included in the price of the cruise, there's not somebody standing there asking, are you a solo cruiser? 45% more, please. But technically, since your entrance to the buffet is included in the price of the cruise, and the price of the cruise that a solo cruiser has to pay just to get on the ship is more, then in that sense, yes, solo cruisers do pay more for the food. But if we're talking about the activities that once you get on board, you have to pay more for, like the go-karts on NCL or like going to one of the specialty restaurants, a solo cruiser will just pay the fee for one person when they go to eat or do those things. Next question is on my video, do rude and clueless travelers have more fun? That was last week's Sunday SofaTime. And Justin from Sunny Travels asks, are they called handies in Germany? Yes, I realized that most places around the world call these things a cell phone or a mobile or just a phone. And in Germany, we call them handies. Not sure how that got started, but yeah, it's in your hand. It's handy. Emma from Emma Cruises watched the video and she wrote me privately and said, handies, if somebody asked me, hey, Emma, can I have a handy? I'd report them to the police. So yes, Justin, these are called handies in Germany, but if you call it a phone or a cell phone, people will also know what you're talking about. We're going to get to just a couple more questions now. And before we do that, please consider subscribing. If you haven't done it yet, give this video a thumbs up and just leave me a comment, any comment. Maybe I'll talk about it sometime soon. Like this comment on my video, flying to Sweden and my ridiculously small and expensive hotel room. Did you see that place? It's from Lisa Anderson. I'm digging the ferry content. How fun. I actually didn't think the room was too bad for the price because of the location, but the kettle thing would have annoyed the heck out of me. Since I posted that video, people who are in the know about Stockholm and Sweden have let me know, in that neighborhood, you're always going to have a really expensive hotel room. The hotel was nice and the room was fine. It was just for the price so small. So next time I go to Stockholm, and I hope there will be a next time, I want to go when it's warm and sunny and when I can go to Gröna Lund. But yeah, next time I won't be staying in Gamla Stan. And you're right, Lisa, that kettle thing, Weird. Next comment is on my video. I tried to book a Viking River cruise. It's complicated. Theodore Brozy writes, been on 3 Viking River cruises. Booked all 3 within 45 minutes each time. So easy. Do you know what you're doing? Yes, there have been a few comments on that video that are like this, saying, wow, you know, you're making this way more complicated than it has to be. You just go to the website, you click on this button, and there's the prices. But I've learned from other people and also from people watching the video that when I access the site here from Europe, it's a different website and they don't have that button. So yeah, if you go watch the video, you'll see what happens when you try to book a Viking River cruise here from Europe or from Germany. You have to write to them to get them to send you an offer, and that did not go smoothly. And personally, I think made Viking look pretty bad. If you've seen that video, what do you think? And when you consider the price of a Viking River cruise, I would think they would have a little bit better customer service. Final comment is on my video. I tried to be a captain. What went wrong and why I gave up for now. Susan Glasgow writes, I passed my navigation exam at Fleetwood Nautical College, but never took it further. I tried group sailing lessons on a lake, but it was not as easy as I thought and flippin' hard work. I know many of you were following my nautical journey. I did get my pilot's license to pilot an ocean-going vessel up to 20 meters. And then for a lot of reasons that I talk about in that video, it's all kind of on ice right now. That doesn't mean that the process might not continue in the future, but for now, I am not Captain Morgan. In next week's Sunday Sofa Time, I think I'm going to tell you about our upcoming cruise in May. It's really exciting and has some pretty exotic stops, some places that I've never been before, and also some places that I've never been on a cruise before. And it's also on a ship that I've never been on before. So if you want to get all those details, check back soon, or sign in or sign up to the member page here on YouTube or at Patreon, because they'll get to know first. And there we go. Thanks for spending this part of your Sunday or whatever day it is that you choose to watch this with me. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. See you soon. Over your driving licenses. Just took me like 3 times to say that.
Just let it pass you.